Hello, everybody. What is happening? Welcome to Victory Monday. What a special occasion this is. It is rare, very rare indeed, that the New York Jets fans can say, we're 3-0. We're 3-0. Can you believe it? What do we make out of this madness? I don't know. I don't know what to think. You know, I have lots of feelings about this season, as I'm sure you do. We're going to get into a little bit of those feelings, making sense out of what Saleh said, trying to predict the future a little bit, and we'll see where we land. This is a replacement show. I want you guys to know something. I am moving the regular Monday Greenbean's Jets pod to Wednesday. Therefore, I just feel naked without a video on Monday. So I'm here. We'll make this one a little bit shorter. I might even release this one on audio as well, just to kind of let my audio people know. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to make a video anyway. So I'll release a video every Monday morning in like fashion as I have for the entirety of my career as a podcaster or whatever this is, content creator. But for today, I just wanted to come here live with you guys, spend a little while talking about Robert Saleh, some of our players, and we'll see where it goes. But moving forward, the Jets pod will be moved to Wednesday throughout the season so I can actually talk about the game as opposed to recording it before the game and then having the game, and then it means nothing. You know what I'm saying? So how is everybody today? What are you guys doing? Did you get a chance to absorb any of the influx of feelings from either Jets fans or media? Have you absorbed any of this stuff? I have. Now, right after the game, I took a little break. I spent time with my family and all that jazz. And then later on, I said, let me see what's going on out there. And there's a few things being said. Now, number one, there's obviously going to be talk about Denzel Mims. We'll get into him in a little bit. But there's obviously going to be talk about him. There are conversations happening about the starting players on the New York Jets versus the second string New York Giants and our inability to just dominate and drive down the field and score points and all that jazz. So if you're not careful, you could really slip into a scenario where you think, oh my God, this was terrible. This was a terrible situation. And I don't think it was the case. I think it's really important to align things with what actually happened. My feelings, my thoughts need to be aligned with what is actually happening. And then I can formulate my own more valued opinion, I would say. But let me say hello to some of you guys before we move in. Jets fan for life. What's up, man? Good morning. Ant Jets. That's right. Look at him. He's all dancing. Look at that guy. Nick W. I agree, Nick. Nothing better than hanging out with you guys on a Monday morning. And it's crazy for 81 pretty much 81 weeks. I took a little bit of time off in the off season, but for 81 weeks, we've had the Greenbean's Jets pod. So this is kind of a weird feeling. I don't know what to do. Like I was going to record you guys a video, Nick. And I said, I'm just going to go. I'm going to go spend time with him. I'm going to go hang out. That's what we're going to do. Omatic is here. What's up? What's up? It's good to see you. Melvin, Tampa Pete. Yeah, he needs this to translate. That was good, Melvin. He needs to translate to the real season. And we're going to have to see if that is the case. Now, the first thing we're going to see is whether or not they actually keep the right players, right? That's first. Now, every year, though, being a Jets fan of the ilk that pays attention to the bottom end of the roster, every year they let guys go that I really think has a lot of potential, but then they don't really go, not too many of them go elsewhere and blow up the league. There have been those instances. I like to bring up Atari Bigby all the time. It's a long time ago, but I was freaking out about Atari Bigby and the Jets just cut him. Tampa Pete. What if we look back 3 years from now and Michael Clemens is the best player of our 2022? I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind that one bit. Would you be upset? Now, it would be a negative if the rest of the draft sucks and Michael Clemens is the best just by default. That's a bad story. It all depends on how it lands, Pete. JETS, what's up, man? Dave from New Brunswick, where I performed my first ever comedy show, New Brunswick, New Jersey, at the Stress Factory. I used to go to the grease trucks all the time in Rutgers, drink. I used to like to figure out a way into frat parties, not being in a frat or attending the school. That was my thing. I didn't make it all the time. They figured me out. Edward Ziff, what's up? Justin Jets, look at Matt. Matthias Simons in the house. What's up, Matt? It's good to see you. Nick, I said hello again, Nick. Philip Bogachuk, what's up, Phil? It's good to see you here this morning. Allie Lewis, the main catch. Mr. Pickle Pants is back. Look at this. Clemens looks like a maniac. Glad he's wearing green. He really does. He really does look good. And it's exciting, man, because Jermaine Johnson, who they're, for whatever reason, they seem to be working him in through the bottom end, right? So he's got all this talent. He's got a really kind of a well-rounded game, Jermaine Johnson has. And they're making him play special teams. He's coming in with the third team. He's part of the rotation, but he's playing late in the fourth quarter, those types of things. So we don't know what that means. Well, Michael Clemens has just shot out of a cannon. You put him in there against the third teamers, he dominates. You put him in there against the second teamers, put him in there against whoever is there, and he finds a way to make an impact. And that's positive. But when Jermaine Johnson clicks, and those two guys are our bookends, Carl Lawson and everybody, a part of the rotation, it's going to be exciting, man. It really is. We did finally a little bit of work on the pass rush, on the edge of the pass rush. And when you add that to guys like Quinnen Williams, we might just see something. The only concern I have is, and we saw it numerous times yesterday, which is when the pass rush is getting all kinds of pressure, the quarterback just steps up and he's able to run, or he's able to toss it to a tight end or a running back. Look, one of the scariest things in football, in my opinion, is when the pass rush doesn't get home, the quarterback squirts out and gets the ball to a running back in space. I mean, there's nothing scarier to me. That's scarier than the bomb. The ball goes up, you go, oh, shit, you stand up, and this day you can't help it. The bombs are scary when you're on defense, unless you got Revis or whatever. But even scarier for me is that play. It's like the pass rush, we dominate, just kind of overly aggressive pass by the quarterback. He steps up and dumps it off to a running back with space. Devastating. Because who the hell knows how to tackle a running back in space? That's their job. The best guy in space. Joseph LeDuc. Dom C, my good buddy Dom C is here. Good morning to you, Dom. What's up, buddy? Nathan Colgrove. Look at all you guys. Mitt Flair, nothing but freaks. You guys are all having a good day. This is fantastic. The Joker's here. Yeah, look at that. Hot Sauce Jerk. What's up with that? Good morning, all. Really hoping we keep Streveler over White if it comes down to it. Now, that is going to be one of the interesting things. Now, I want to just remind you of something that we could mirror to last year. Now, Streveler was the hero, especially in yesterday's game. And Saleh treated him as such in the post-game comments. The game balls, Streveler! He did the whole thing. It looks very similar to what he did with Yeboah last year. And Yeboah was cut the next day. So you never can tell. Now, I will say that Streveler is an interesting case because it's not that he just looked good against the back end of the roster, which is really we have to remember that is the case. But he played against the same guys Mike White was playing against. Like Mike White in game 2 was really struggling. Couldn't do a damn thing. Streveler came in, his first drive was a touchdown. So there's something different there. And I think you can't overlook the X factor with guys, like that's the whole thing with guys like Wayne Chrebet. When you look at Wayne Chrebet through a logical lens and you think, well, I mean, it's cut down day. I have a 5'10", 185-pound guy who's slow over here, but he's catching everything. He looks great, but he's, and I have a 6'2.5" guy with a 50-inch vertical, super long arms, and he has had a rough camp. You know what I mean? But it just makes more sense to keep that guy. And that's what you think, a lot of teams, what you see a lot of teams do, because it's the rational thinking. It's really the way to do it. But if you're really paying attention, I think the really great organizations and the great head coaches are able to differentiate between those players and identify the X factor. You like how my beard is glowing? I'm like blind. I'm going to take these off. I got a little bit of shadow on my face still, so I don't need the glasses. Maybe I'll move it. Yeah, but I'm going to move for you guys so I don't blind you with my beard. Here we go. What do you think? That better? So I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to keep Strevler. I don't know if this regime is an X Factor regime yet. I just don't. I see guys with X Factors all over the place, but I don't know if that's them yet. I think they're still trying to get their foundation set. It's tough. It's tough to lay a foundation with guys that you're taking risks on. Maybe. I hope they keep Strevler too. That's my hope. Mumtaz checking in nice and early with his super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Jets starting offense went up against the Giants' backup defense with only 2 starting linebackers. And for 4 drives, they got 2 turnovers, 1 punt, 1 field goal. How can one feel good about this? O-line is also suspect. Well, this is the thing, Mumtaz. I'm going to answer your question, and I'm going to change your perspective. Are you ready for this? I don't know if you're ready. That's the thing. I don't want to dump a whole bunch of stuff on you when you're not ready. It's like, are you ready? I'll hand you the load if you're ready. Are you ready? I think he's ready. You guys think Mumtaz is ready? I think he's ready. Here's the thing, Mumtaz. I'm going to play you a clip from Robert Saleh. Let's play the clip from Robert Saleh, and then I'll tell you exactly what I think here. Okay, let me get back. Let me find my notes. I wasn't able to clip it up for you guys. Okay, 3:30. It's actually a good question too. Hold on. Let's get right back to this here. All right, Mumtaz, here's my answer to your question. Here's the beginning of it, okay? Starts with this. You made a comment like the second team. All right, hold on. I got to get back to it's a good question too. The way he asks it is it's a little bit scary. All right, here we go. You ready? Make sure you can hear this.
But you made a comment like the second team went in
back it up.
The second team.
Really pleased with the way the defense came out today, especially in that first half.
On DJ.
DJ's going to be fine.
Wait, what the hell's going on here?
They're both fine.
I don't want to come off as overly negative, but you made a comment like the second team went in offensively. The second team offense went in and executed and moved right down the field against the same defense.
Yeah.
Well, the second team's not going to start against the Ravens. It's going to be the first team. So when the first team doesn't execute it and the second team does execute it, I mean, where's the disconnect?
No, it's the first time this group has been out there, those 5. And there is no excuses. The mindset, the mentality, the physicality, all of it needs to get better. But at the same time, I'm not discouraged. We have a really good group of guys, and there's no doubt that they'll get to where they need to go. But it was, if anything, it's a good little wake-up call.
So here's my answer to you, Mumtaz. It's the first statement that he said, and we cannot undervalue the reality there, which is we watched the first time that group of guys ever played together. Now, would you prefer to see just because it's the first time, it doesn't matter, and they light up the world? Sure, of course. But when you're talking about a second team unit that's more than likely playing their third game together, and an offensive unit that just because they're the first team, you can't take away that they've never played together before. You're going to see that stuff. Now, Michael Carter, is he a fumble guy? So we were driving on that drive sloppily, but we were driving. We were in field goal range, and Michael Carter fumbles it. He's not a fumbler. Happens. You know what I mean? It's one thing if it was Ty Johnson. If you're putting Ty Johnson out there with your starters, excuse me, and he fumbles again, then it's like, okay, what's the disconnect here? But when you're talking about getting a team their initial reps as a unit, I'm of the school of thought that you need to understand that it's not going to work. That's me. What you want is you want to see them improve. That's what you want. Again, they've never played together as a unit before. Wasn't this Flacco's first preseason? Maybe he played a couple plays. I forget if he played. Did he come in when Zach went? I just forget. I think Mike White came in. I don't remember if we saw Flacco. It's crazy. It's only been 2 weeks and I already forget that. But that's the thing. So when you're looking at a team, you can call them our first team offense all you want, and that's the truth. But first time ever playing together. So as they progressed, you saw a fumble on the first drive, which they were moving. You saw a ridiculous pick 6 by Joe Flacco, which is what it is. I mean, who knows? Joe Flacco's known for doing that. He has great games and he throws a pick 6. It's like the Vinny Testaverde thing. So, and then we had a punt and then we had a field goal. So 4 drives. That's all we got. Now, maybe if that unit stayed in all game, yeah, who knows what they do. Again, they would bring in lower team. But so like Jets Forever is saying here, we're looking at things that aren't going to be the case. So Michael Carter is not a fumbler. Now, if he suddenly becomes one, we have a problem, right? That's something that we need to address. But it's something that happens. Michael Carter blew that drive. The drive was driving. It was at least 3 points. So that could have been 2 scores. Would you feel better about 2 scores, even if they were field goals? And the other thing is, again, when you're looking at a team, like especially particularly the offensive line. I mean, that's what he was saying. The second team offensive line came in and played better. And that's what the question was geared at. Like, how could you feel good about the second team offensive line coming in, playing against the same guys and doing better than your first team offensive line? He's like, well, because it wasn't their first time playing together. That's why. They've actually played 2 games together. The second team, and that's the Pierschbachers, the Herbigs, the Idogis. Now, can I tell you I feel great about it? No, I'm not trying to spin it that way, Mumtaz. But what I am trying to say is to feel like it's a negative. I don't see it as a negative at all. Again, we're watching the first time this group of guys has ever played together. I mean, against anybody. So I feel a little bit better than maybe the people that are looking at this as a negative. I don't see it as a negative. So let's talk about the let me see if I see another question here. Daniel Faust. Hey, good morning, Daniel. How you doing? He says, by next year, Streveler is quarterback 2 if I'm LaFleur. Now, wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? So to get rid of 2 vets for Streveler, and in 1 year, you have the confidence to keep him and make him quarterback 2, especially with Zach, who, let's just be real here, in 2 years, he's been injured twice. So it's kind of spooky. I don't know. So let's get to some more before we move on to some predictions and stuff. Let's get to Saleh's comments on Denzel Mims. And it's really interesting. The way that he phrases a bunch of stuff. Well, we'll finish with the offensive line again too. He says it again. Watch.
You could see we're just a little out of sync with the offensive line in terms of the run game and our running backs hitting the hole the way they needed to. And so that part's got to be better. But overall, you could see this was a necessary evil to get these guys out on the football field so they can play together.
Yep. You see what I'm saying, Mumtaz? So you got to get that done. You have to get that out of the system. At some point, day one has to happen. You would much rather be in preseason. Remember last year, just to remind everybody, last year, the first time that our offensive line ever played together as a unit was game 1 against the Panthers. That was the first time. They had, I think, a couple of plays in the first game of preseason. Then they didn't, or no, not even, because guys were injured. They played like when you talk about, it was Becton, AVT, McGregor, McGovern, Van Roten, and Fant. That was the first time that they played together as a unit. So you'd rather get this done in the preseason, in my opinion. That's where the positive lies. So here, let's get it to the Denzel Mims comments. They ask him, "What'd you think of Mims?" Now, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I'm gonna look through the comments and get your thoughts on this particular answer.
I thought he was gritty. He was gritty.
Gritty.
We ran out of receivers there at the end, and he fought all the way through. Took every single snap that he needed to take. Won some contested footballs, and he absolutely fought. And and he's finally been given himself an opportunity in terms of the game to go showcase that. It's what he's been doing since OTAs, and it was good to see him do it in the game setting.
So do you think his future is with Steve Armor?
Like I said, he's one of our 6 best receivers, and he's going to be here as far as I'm concerned, unless all the other questions are for Joe.
Unless don't ask me any more questions. What do you think of that? What do you think of that, guys? So first thing he said was he's gritty, right? So he's gritty. Oh, I thought he was gritty. Okay, great. Then he said something really interesting, which is we ran out of receivers at the end. Now, I don't know what that means. Unless if guys were hurt, right? I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to put Garrett Wilson back in there, so they kind of ran out of receivers. But it's an interesting statement, in my opinion. We ran out of receivers, so we had to stick Denzel Mims back in there, and he was gritty. He played the whole game. Oh, what a champion! You know, he played the whole game. What a champ, right? So, and then he said something even more interesting, which is he used the word, guys. He used the word showcase. Can you believe that? He let that slip. He said it was good for Denzel Mims to showcase that. He actually said that. We ran out of, right? I don't understand. Now, maybe somebody can explain. Now, I think it just means we were done using the guys up top. We were not going to use Elijah Moore. We're not using Corey Davis anymore in the end of the game. We're not using Garrett Wilson because those are our starting three. Same applies to Berrios. He's maybe not top three, but he's still considered a starter, right? He's up there. So you get down to the Denzel Mimses, the Tariq Blacks, the what the hell's the guy's name who caught the touchdown? Come on. What's his name? I want to say Robertson. I'm so burnt. That guy. You know the guy, Parkinson, Robinson? Tell me what his name is. Help me out. I don't know what's going on. So here's what I think it means. Number one, it's unfortunate because this is what happens when you let guys actually play. Like last year, we saw in numerous instances, Denzel Mims played 11 games. He started 3, technically. He didn't come out with the starters or anything, but he played 11 games last year, and he played 279 offensive plays, most of which were running plays. So when he gets out there, he gets a penalty. Calvin Jackson, thank you, Nick. Jeez, stay woke. There it is. Thank you. You guys are the best. Fawn, Sneakers to Boots, all you guys. Lawrence Waffles, Agba. Thank you. So this is what happens. Like, so when you leave a guy on the field, he makes a mistake and you leave him out there. You let him, he gets a drop. You leave him out there. You let him play. Instead of putting in lesser talent, you play him. This is the kind of stuff that happens. They work through it. They bounce back and they make good. Especially when they have talent. When you pull a guy, the first mistake he makes, what that does is it adds emphasis to when they do get on the field. Stress. Come. Sorry. So it's just an interesting thing. And he says, he finally got to showcase. He finally got to showcase it, man. Like, you guys are in charge of who gets to do what. I was so happy. He finally got a chance to showcase his talent. Now, the comment about the end that he's one of our 6 best receivers, that I think is absolutely true. And I think there's no debate. I don't think you can even put Jeff Smith, Tariq Black. We don't know what Calvin Jackson is, but I still agree. I don't think that those guys are even in the same league as Denzel Mims and his pedigree and what he is. You never know what these guys are going to become, but there's always an outlier and all that. But that last comment, guys, which is he's one of our 6 best receivers, so he'll be here as far as I'm concerned, unless those questions are for Joe. You know what that's called? That's called catching yourself. Unless we trade his ass, especially because I just used the word showcase. And that's exactly what we did. You left. That was the first time they left Denzel Mims out there their entire time with him. That's the first time. It's great. Aaron Butler, we're not in the mood for you today. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Get out of here. Lamar the Great. Beat it. Go hang out with your Ravens fans. It's Monday. Beat it. Get out of here. Who needs that shit in the morning, right? It's 9:30. It's 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. Leave us alone, man. So anyway, about Denzel Mims, here's my prediction. 53-man roster. I think they will not cut him. If you cut him, they are morons. All right? Morons. You get something for him, and it better be a third. If it's anything below a third, you keep him. That is smart management. And if this staff is so stubborn and rigid that they cannot see what this kid brings to the damn table, and they would rather have a 5th round pick, even though Joe Douglas has done well the last 2 years in the later rounds. Well, really, last year he used the 5th to trade up, right? But so in the 4th round, he gets Max Mitchell and Michael Clemens, who we're all in love with. So Joe Douglas has shown the ability to get value back there. Michael Carter, the second, Jason Pinnock, some other guys, right? So he's been able to do that. But you don't take a 5th round pick. If that's all you're getting offered, 5th, 4th even. Nope. I got a 6th for Blake Cashman. And then you look at the Cowboys got a 5th and a 6th, like moving up in the 6th for Amari Cooper. You got to remember, because somebody said that if Dallas couldn't get more than a 5th for Amari Cooper, it's like, well, Amari Cooper cost $20 million. Denzel Mims cost $800,000, I think it is. Jeff heard it. Showcase. So it's an interesting thing. Now, I'll be real honest. You guys know where I stand on Mims. You guys know it. I've made it abundantly clear. I think that he should be out there. I think he's probably the best in the top 3 receivers on this team. I don't even care what anybody thinks. That's what I think. I think he's better than Corey Davis. I think it's not even in question. You have to use this guy. You leave him out there. But if they're not going to do that, if they can't figure out how to use him, then let him go somehow. Then let him go. Figure it out, Joe Douglas. If this staff, you might want to sit down with this staff and say, dude, what's your guys' problem with this, man? What is it? They probably already know. I don't know what it is. I think that day one, Mims said something. He said something. Yeah, like Jason Rhodes, really? You would rather have a 6th round pick than Denzel Mims? I don't understand, Jason. I really don't. I don't understand that thinking, especially because if he goes to a team with an actual offense, like a legitimate offensive, coordinator who knows how to use, just for example, Andy Reid, watch out, man. Watch out. We're going to be the fools. So anyway, that's what I think, Hepburn. This is the last comment. To John Hepburn, thank you. That's the thing. It's like perfect. It's perfect. Now, if Corey Davis can come out this year and play lights out, get, 96 catches for 1,400 yards, and if he does that, great. But more than likely, he's going to continue to do the things that he's done, have kind of up and downs and all that jazz. I hope not, and then you let him go next year because you have no guaranteed money. You already have his replacement. That'll be his 3rd year in the system, Denzel Mims. And it'll be a contract year. Dude, it makes too much sense. You let him go out there and burn the league because he wants to get paid. Like it just, I don't know. Seems, am I dumb or am I super crazy smart, guys? You got to tell me. That's the thing, Thomas. I think, sadly, I think Thomas is right. I mean, whatever it is, the damage is done. And it's silly. Denzel Mims saying all the right things. No, I have no problem with the Jets. I love the Jets. I love everybody here. What about Robert Saleh? Robert Saleh's my coach. I respect the hell out of him. That's what he's saying. Said he's just hungry. I just want to play. I just want to play football. I'm huge. Look at me. How do you not figure out how to use me? So it's an interesting thing. Now let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. Now, if you guys don't know, tomorrow at 4 p.m. is the deadline for cap cuts. We got to get them, not cap cuts, roster cuts. Come on, roster cuts. You got to get it all the way down to 53. So do you know how many guys are going to get cut? 32 teams. What are they at now? 80 players, right? Aren't there 75? Where are they right now? Hank, tell me where we are right now. I'm mixed up this year. Mims is the 3rd best wide receiver, maybe the 2nd. We don't know about Wilson. Yeah, that's how I feel, Jason. I think it's silly. Good morning, Phil. Good morning. Has the Mims presser been talking about? Well, I think a little bit. I mean, Mims, 80, right? That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. You guys are awesome. Quick. You guys all get in here. Boom. You guys are so responsive. That's why I sincerely love you guys. I really do. Right, Jets Frey just wants to play. So think about this. You got 32 teams going down from 80 to 53. Who wants to do the math for me? So that's 27 players per team. So 27 times 32. Captain K Techno, what is it? Ed Banch, what is it? What's the number? 32 times 27. That's how many players are about to be available. And remember, Mike McCagnon called this the mini draft. Not Mike McCagnon, Mike Tannenbaum. He called this the mini draft. It's like a mini draft. 900-ish. I like that, Dave. That's funny. What has he done in the NFL? Well, here's what he's done. When you put him on the field and play, you can see it his rookie year. He's caught just about everything thrown to him. He has 4 drops in his career. Everybody talks like he's this. I'm thinking, it's 5 drops. 5 drops in his entire career. So that's not the problem. Now, he was, the penalties last year. He had 5 penalties last year. Now, for a wide receiver, that's pretty bad. But again, when you leave a guy out there you only put him out there for 3 plays. They're trying to do there's a stress. There's an emphasis. I got to do great now. I have to do it now. This is my shot. You add that to it rather than just letting a guy play the game. Just play him. Put him out there. Just put him out there and let him play. He makes a mistake like Corey Davis. Don't forget, Corey Davis, too. He had numerous drops, more drops than Mims. He played more, so there's that. But he also had 2 of the interceptions that are credited to Zach Wilson were in Corey Davis's hands first. Why aren't we talking about that? So Denzel Mims had himself a very solid rookie year after the hamstring injuries. 31 catches or whatever the hell it was for whatever the yards. But you could see it. You could see it. With Joe Flacco, Joe Flacco came in and Denzel Mims lit it up. Why? Because Joe Flacco knew this guy's good. And I'm going to throw it to him. And he threw it to him, and he made all kinds of catches, created all kinds of yards after the catch. And then Sam Darnold came in and literally couldn't see wide open receivers running around. That's the truth of it. That's the truth. So Denzel Mims comes in last year. He gets the food poisoning. He loses 20 pounds. Still, this is what I'm just going to give you guys the lineage of the first 4 games of the season. Before, don't forget, Mims didn't have a drop until the Indianapolis game. That was the big drop that everybody kind of lost their marbles on, again, with Josh Johnson. So he's on the squad week 1. They don't use him the whole game. They put him in for 3 plays. At the end of the game, he makes 1 catch for 40 yards. Okay, 1 catch, 40 yards, first down, the whole thing. Now, he didn't do too much it was but it doesn't matter. It's like he got open, he caught the ball, that's his job. So then they make him a healthy scratch for the next, I believe it was 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and he comes back in the next week. He has 3 catches for 36 yards in 15 plays that he was out there. Again, most were runs, which he blocks very effectively. So when you're looking at a guy, you have plenty of college tape to look at. It's not Stephen Hill. Stephen Hill had, 50 total college catches. Denzel Mims had, 3 years with over 60 catches. So it's not the same. And then you look at the rookie year, what he was able to do. And then you look at what they did to him his second year. It just doesn't make sense. It's like, you just want to see a guy like this, Mojo. You want to see a guy get on the damn field. That's it. Why can't we see him? Why can't we see him for more than 10 plays? Why? And look, he's probably going to be the first friggin' guy. And I hate this. I hate it. He's probably going to be the first guy that when the Jets let him go, that I actually root to make the Jets pay for it. Because I think they need to fucking learn it. Pardon my French. You can't have personal feelings in this game. You can't. And if you do, you better be Bill Parcells, man. That's all I'm saying. You better be real good at your job. If you're going to get personal and you're not going to play guys for some wacky reason that nobody can see but you, then you had better be Bill Parcells. You got to have that impact. Yeah, he had 2,000-yard seasons, I think it was, at Baylor. Dude, he's a good receiver. That's all we're saying. But I'm really rooting for the day I don't have to talk about this fucking guy anymore. On this level, it's like either play him. Let's get our 6'3", 4.38 speed wide receiver on the damn field for a full game. Let's see that. Or Joe Douglas, work some magic, trade him. Dude, go to the Eagles and just trade him straight up for Rieger. Do that then. Rieger's their type. You know what I mean? But Ed, this is the thing. That's brand new. Everybody's saying that. He has an intelligence problem. There's something in the head. He can't digest the offense. Dude, that's never been his knock before. Before Robert Saleh and Mike LaFleur, that has never been said about Denzel Mims. Never. And that's the interesting thing. Like, again, what I really want to happen is for my staff, my coaches, our New York Jets, general manager and coaches, I want them to be right. I want to have a regime that sees the writing on the wall, very similar to how Joe Douglas did with Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold. He saw it. These are not the guys. I'm getting value for them now. You want that, but you want your coaches to be able to identify talent, whether that talent is ready to play now or needs to be developed. You want them to be able to do that. And I want their decisions. I want the guys that they choose to let go. I want them to suck. And I want the guys that they choose to keep to be world beaters. That's what I want. But when you see a guy like Denzel Mims, who is clearly talented, and there is clearly an issue between this coaching staff and this player. Again, I'm not pretending to know what that is. It's bothersome because we don't get good players, damn it. How many years have we been watching, Calvin Pryor and, it's just, there's so many. I mean, my brain is so clogged with terrible players. David Clowney, Stevie, rooting for guys like David Clowney and Stevie Anderson to have miracle years. McCarron's, like it just goes on and on and on and on. You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. Loved Woodhead. I know I was heartbroken when they let Woodhead go. Now, again, that's exactly what I'm talking about, guys. Do you think it made more sense to keep Danny Woodhead or to keep Joe McKnight? Joe McKnight had elite pedigree. He was a world beater at USC. Now he came to the Jets. He had problems right away. He was puking on the sideline and all that jazz. And he ended up being a pretty damn good return man for us. He never matched his what his hype was, but it's hard to keep Danny Woodhead, a little nothing guy, over Joe McKnight. And that's the thing. The Jets made a terrible mistake doing that. Now, again, Joe McKnight wasn't terrible for us, but he never ended up being the guy that they hoped he'd be. And God rest his soul, I'm certainly not throwing stones at Joe McKnight, but what you would hope our coaching staff knows how to do, and our general manager, is to identify that. Go, ooh, this is that guy. This is the special guy. You know what I mean? This is, what the hell is the guy's name? What's the guy's name from the wide receiver? I'm burnt out today, guys. I apologize. I'm like all over the place. Bang Mateo, what's up, buddy? He says, play Mims and bench Davis, Berrios, Moore, or Wilson. You don't have to bench anybody. There should be packages, Bang. Or is it Mateo? I'll call you Mateo. You let me know if it's Bang. I think we might have done this before, too. I'm sorry, buddy. You don't bench anybody. It's just you have specific packages where you utilize your strengths. Now, if there is a play, if there's a scenario where you need certain skill sets, Denzel Mims is at the top of a specific skill set that we have. Now, they're choosing Corey Davis over him. They're also choosing Jeff Smith, Tariq Black, all these other guys all last year over Denzel Mims. It doesn't make sense. Now, what I would hope to see, Bang Mateo, is this. I would hope to see that they either they get a third or higher for Denzel Mims. Fourth, I'm not interested. Me. Nope. It's not worth it. A fourth round pick is not worth it. So I hope that they keep Denzel Mims at the fifth. You keep him as your fifth wide receiver after Berrios. You give him 35 to 45 receptions this year. You see how he handles himself all year. You need a blocking wide receiver, get him in there. You need additional guys to, for protection and all that stuff on, special design plays, whatever. You need a blocking wide receiver, you get him in there. He's good at that too. And then you replace Corey Davis with him next year. Again, that'll be his third year in the system. He'll be playing in a contract year. It's like, it makes too much sense. Too much. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the thing. It's weird because I feel similarly about Berrios. Berrios is a guy that I almost thought the Jets were going to let go. Now they didn't, thankfully. And Joe Douglas made him a priority. He signed him. He was right after Laken Tomlinson. Like the day, the opening day of the negotiating window of free agency, we signed Laken Tomlinson and we re-signed Berrios. And I was like, yes, because you don't want to lose guys like Berrios. Now, he might not be Jamar Chase, right? That's not who he is. But you want those guys sprinkled around your roster that will do literally anything that they need to do to succeed. You want those guys. So the Jets were wise enough to keep him, which is good. But they seem to be silly with this Denzel Mims thing. It's crazy. So Jason Rhodes says replace Corey Davis. Well, they can't. Well, they got to eat the contract, Jason. And look, and I'm not one to say like Corey Davis is garbage. I'm not. I actually liked the signing. I don't want to revise history from my angle. I liked the signing. He basically had 1,000 yards the year before. It was the first year that the team kind of, featured him in some respects. He had that game where he was taken out because of COVID. He had 989 yards. He had 1,000 yards, and he missed one game because of COVID protocol. So, right. Phil is saying it. Phil is right. Mims is perfect insurance for Corey Davis if and when he goes down or next year. It's like it makes too much sense. The idea that they don't want him leads me to the conclusion that something is up. They don't like him, and that's a personal decision, which is not okay. Unless you're Bill Parcells or Bill Belichick or somebody like that. Andy Reid can do that. Andy Reid could go, I don't like that guy's face. I don't want him on my team. And you go, no problem, Andy. I'll go get a fifth for him. You know what I mean? That Andy Reid's got that. Robert Saleh does not have that. Robert Saleh should be saying, I'll develop and build with whoever you give me. You give me players, I will make them into great players. That's Robert Saleh should be doing. And LaFleur and Tony Oden, and John Benton and Ulbrich. That's what they should be doing, man. We should be the development capital of New York. So let's do this. Got about 10 more minutes in this impromptu live stream on a Monday morning. Generally speaking, I would have released Green Beans Jets Pod episode 82, but I'm moving that from Monday to Wednesday throughout the season. Truth is, I'm following Matt O'Leary's advice. I watched him for a whole year. We'll see how it goes, because it's impossible to get it out. It's like watching the game and recording it and editing it and still getting it out for Monday morning and getting it out to my Patreon early. It's just impossible to do. It's impossible to do. Plus, I teach a class on Monday mornings, on Monday the whole day to little kids. So I got to be fresh. I can't be up till 4 a.m. recording Jets pods. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Let's see what else we do. So let's do that. Oh, I got another super chat. Thank you, Bang. He says, the commentator said Mims had a work habit issue. Well, again, that's never been seen before the Robert Saleh regime. Now, maybe he doesn't work according to what they want to see. That's very possible. But again, in my opinion, and I learned this from very, very good coaches. Don't forget, I've been coached. Right. I'm from the football world. Now, I never made it too far. I don't want to get drugs took me away. That's the way that went. But I've also coached little kids, and I've had exceptional coaches mentor me. And the thing that I was taught, and I've seen it said time and time again, a coach's responsibility is to figure out how best to reach as many players as they can on their team, to figure out the best way to reach these guys. And then his staff goes about it that way. So if somebody learns audibly, you make sure that that's how they're learning. If somebody does not learn, like they need visuals, you give them visuals. And you find all the other people that learn that way and you do that. Now, if somebody's an extrovert and they're like, look, I used to do this all the time in therapy, right? As you guys know, I used to run rehabs with like 100 drug addicts and mental health patients. And I had a whole staff of over 200 people. And I would have these meetings and they would rave about one patient that's doing all the work. And then you got another patient that can't do, he's struggling to write a single sentence on a piece of paper. And to the naked eye, it looks like client A or patient A is doing so much better than client B. But that's not the case. When you look into it a little bit longer, you learn client A, this is one of their deals, this is what they've always done. They can write reports like there's nobody's business. They do that to keep people from getting inside. That's easy to them. Where this guy is working his ass off to put one sentence because he doesn't function that way. You got to look at where people are coming from. And that is the job of a friggin' coach. Now, you can't spend individual time and baby each guy. That's not what I'm saying. But you don't throw the same trick at 80 guys and expect them all to respond in the same way. Not today's football. You can't do it. So that being said, if you're like, look, we have a baseline here. You need to be able to meet this, that, and this. After that, I'll teach you any ways or whatever, but you got to meet this. And Denzel Mims can't do that. And it is what it is. Right, Bang Mateo? But again, just want to point out that I did more work on Denzel Mims. Like it was Denzel Mims, LaVisca Chenault, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman. Oh, I loved Michael Pittman. But all those guys, I really dug into that wide receiver class. I was very excited about it. And Denzel Mims never had these issues. And even his rookie year, he didn't have these issues. It's crazy. So, all right, enough Denzel Mims, huh? Let me do this. Again, we have about a few more minutes. That's funny. He says, I played Pop Warner until I was 18, Rockney Jr.'s running back. I feel it every day. Right. So you had Pop Warner. I had PAL. We played in PAL football, the Police Athletic League. That's where I played. Parsippany. Back then, it was the Parsippany Panthers. Bunch of drunk dads. That's what it was. But I had some really good coaches come through there and teach me some things I've never forgotten, man. Like as an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid trying to coach little kids, like I've had guys teach me things that still apply to everything I do in my life. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, coaching is a crazy opportunity to reach people, man. And I'm going to tell you something too. I had more respect for my football coaches. Like if they were upset with me as a kid, even in high school, when my football coaches were upset with me, it hurt. Like I felt just as like it was as if they were my father. Now, I had all kinds of weird shit going on in my family and, so maybe that had something to do with it. But like I felt for my football coach like I did for a father. When they were disappointed with me, it made me sad. Like I was scared. I was sad. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. Like you have an incredible opportunity to reach. And don't forget, we look at these players like they're men. Think about you when you were 23 years old. Dude, when I was 23, can I shoot straight with you guys? When I was 23 years old, I was literally pumping gas at a place called Young. It was a mobile at the time on Route 202 by Parsippany Hills High School. And I used to get crack delivered to me almost every day. I was a crackhead gas pumper at 23 years old. That's what I was. Now, I'm an extreme example on the other side, right? I was a mess. So you got to remember, these guys are young, and you can still help them form the men they're going to be. And that's what I want to see. At the end of the game, I just want to see friggin' wins, right? But that's what I want to see from my staff. I want development. I want them to take guys with talent and make them into superstars. That's what I want. I don't want to see them not like guys with talent. And I don't like him. I don't like his face. He doesn't do what I want. He doesn't, I don't know. Anyway, Boonton. No, you guys played, you weren't Pop Warner. You were PAL in Boonton. Man, come on. That was PAL. We played Boonton. I used to love Boonton. So let's do this. Go ahead. I want you guys to put your number one surprise cut. Number one surprise cut. Hey, is that Matt O'Leary? Is that the real Matt O'Leary? I was just talking about you. Don't tell him, guys. Right? Don't tell him what I said. Anyway, I was saying I'm emulating you, Mr. O'Leary. It's nice to have you here. This is because I'm moving my Jets pod to when I can't do it for Monday. I just can't do it. I literally can't do it. When there's a game on Sunday, I can't do it. You know the deal. So I'm following your lead. I got to move it. So, but I'm happy you're here. Yo Holmes is saying Mims played against nobodies. Why are you so mad? Why are you yelling? Why do you got to yell? It doesn't matter who he played against. It doesn't. He did that against starting NFL caliber players, man. He did it. So it's not like he came. We've never seen it. We saw it. We already saw him be able to do that. A wide receiver is a very interesting thing. You throw him the ball, his job is to catch it. If that happens, you have a good wide receiver. That's it. Now they got to get open and all that jazz. But hey, it's not his fault that that's the first time that's the most we've ever seen Mims. He had 7 catches or 6 catches for 102 yards or whatever the hell it was. Come on. Straight facts. Yo, Holmes, I hear you. You can only play who's out there to play. It's not his fault. If they would have put him out there in the beginning, he would have did the same thing like he's always done. He has only a handful of mistakes, a handful. 5 drops in 3 years or 2 years, really. And he has 5 penalties. It's a bad year. Relax. It's not like, it's please, man. And they didn't exactly give him a chance. So let's get our number one surprise cut. Curly Norman checking. He says, McDermott, and we claim a tackle off waivers as an upgrade. You know what, Curly? As exciting as that reception was last year from Connor McDermott, right? You can't take it from him, right? Do I have that as a thing? Let me see. You can't take it from him. But I think that would be a very, very good move. No, I don't have it. I don't have it there. Shit. I got to get that. I think that would be a good one. What do you guys think of that? That would be a good one. See, now being able to upgrade, like, look, I know they like Connor McDermott. I know they like Chuma Edoga. And I do believe in development. But when you see a guy like Connor McDermott out there and he just gets pushed around a lot, he did well that game last year when they put him in. The first half, he did really well. He did. People don't remember that, but he did. The second half, it's like he wore down. He wasn't ready. Now, he just came off injury and the whole thing. But I don't know. I would love to see an upgrade. That's why I was really happy with the Max Mitchell pick, even though I was shooting for a linebacker at that point. I really wanted a linebacker at that point. I was very happy because I happen to like Max Mitchell too. I liked him as a player. But I think that Curly Norman's on to something here. That's what I think. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Ashton isn't getting cut. Oh my God. Could you imagine? I'll tell you what, Jets forever. It's almost become a foregone conclusion that Ashton Davis is out. And I got to tell you, I have defended, you know how you guys, if you've been around me at all, you know my philosophy. I'm a 3 years guy. Give somebody 3 years to develop. You got to do it. If you don't do that, you're more than likely jumping the gun. If you think somebody's great after one season and you give them a contract extension and all this stuff, that blows up in your face. In the same way, cutting guys loose and calling them scrubs after 1 year, 2 years is also a mistake, in my opinion, most cases. So, but that said, Jets forever, Ashton Davis looks terrible, bro. He does. He looks terrible. Even in yesterday's game, he was actually missing tackles. Like where did that come from? Like he's even doing that now? So I don't know, man. I know you're a defender, and as am I. But because he's heading into year 3, but I don't know. I think it's hard to cut Will Parks for Ashton Davis. It really is. John P. You rock, John. Thank you. Right. O'Leary, yeah. He says, would love listening to that. No, isn't it nice? That's what I do with Matt. I put Matt's show on. I wish it was longer. I missed the only thing I wish for Matt O'Leary is that it was a 2-hour show. That's the only thing. At least an hour and a half, something like that. Because there's nothing more positive to me than putting my earphones in, putting on the Just Jets podcast from Matt O'Leary and doing yard work or doing whatever I'm doing. I love it. Like I said, the only thing that bums me out is when it ends. I'm like, now I got to go find something else. You know what I mean? Yeah, Matt's the best. Let's see. So Mims is always open. A touch catch. Yeah, that was a great catch. Come on, don't take it from him. It was a great catch. Coverage was there. Like you can't do that's. What are you going to do? Say that the guy was a scrub covering him? I mean, he's full extension for the catch. It was a great catch. Leave it there. Leave it where it is. Nathan Shepard, Hank G. What's up, Hank? He says, Nathan, now this would be interesting. I think so too. I think it's time. Like you are preaching defensive line rotation. You're preaching it. And you're trying to up the quality of that rotation. Nathan Shepard is a Mike McCagnon holdover, a terrible pick from the word go. And that's not to say I didn't root for Nathan Shepard. I did. And I liked him his rookie year, and he had a good second sophomore year, right? He had a decent sophomore year. He did. But boy, oh boy, is he disappointing, man. And like he looks good when he's surrounded by scrubs. And granted, they were doubling him yesterday a lot. I saw him doubled numerous times. But even without that, he does not do a single thing. He gets pushed around. But I got to say, Hank, I'm still going to be surprised if that happens. I'm still going to be surprised. I think Saleh loves him. It's a good point, Jets gang. If we held everybody to the standards we hold Denzel Mims to, it would look completely different. Ty Johnson had 3 drops in one game, 3 third down drops, in addition to fumbles and being completely inept in pass pro. So I don't know. Why not him? That's what I'm saying. You call me a fool? Yo, home, that's not nice. And you're yelling about it too. Jeez, take your caps lock off, buddy. It's fucking Monday morning. Let's just calm down. If you don't like your job, get a different job. That's all I got to say. McDermott is a jag. Yeah, I hear you. So who else we got? Ty Johnson had 5 drops last year. Yeah, and 4 were on third downs. Jets forever. 4. That's insane. Oh, wow. Jason Rhodes with a very interesting one, guys. What do you think of this? Tanzel Smart. Now, to support this argument, one of the things I was actually thinking last night is he did settle down. Like he shot out of a cannon, right? He shot out of a cannon week 1. He was on, oh my God, who the hell's Tanzel Smart? He did settle down. So what does that mean? But he has been good. Consistent pressures. I don't know how, you have liability in the run game, maybe. I don't know. I would be surprised. I think Tanzel Smart's going to get chosen over Nathan Shepard. I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth. I think he should. Let me say that. Let's see. Tevin Coleman, Alpha Anaconda. This would be smart. This would be smart, in my opinion. Now, and I had nothing against Tevin Coleman. But I think it's getting more and more difficult to justify keeping old heads on the team when you have legit talent at the running back, or at any position, really. But where Tevin Coleman is concerned. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting. I think that Tevin Coleman stays, though. That's what I think. Larry Thomas just says, hey, I'm going to skip the cut thing. I'm going to tell you, Jets are going to win more than 8 games. Well, that would make me very happy, Larry. What does that say? Larry's Peppa Shrimp. Larry's Peppa Shrimp. Is that your company, Larry? That's good. Larry's Peppa Shrimp. Tell us how to find it, Larry. That's good. We'll help you out. Who doesn't like a little Peppa Shrimp, huh? Come on. Richard from Jersey saying Pierschbacher to start. Let me tell you something. Richard, that is bold. That is a bold. I don't think it's happening, but I am a Pierschbacher supporter. I liked him coming out as a developmental prospect. Now, don't forget, he started for Alabama, man, for years. So he wasn't exactly chopped meat, chopped liver. He wasn't exactly chopped liver, but he was known. He was weak. Like he needed to add strength and all that kind of stuff. But he's got it. He's got it. Now he's been in the league. What is it? 5 years now, I think. But as a backup, I think he's perfect. I'd rather see him than Feeney. If you had to put, make a decision between one or two, and I don't think they'll do that. They'll probably try to squeeze Pierschbacher on the practice squad, but I don't like that. Oh, Yo Holmes says Jets will not win 8 games. This guy's a grump. He's yelling again. Look at him. Yo Holmes, you got to reevaluate your whole thing. I don't know what your deal is. Look, he's yelling again. Clown show. Yeah. Rah! Take it easy. Phil Adams, what about Nick Bawden? What about Nick Bawden? Is he going to stay? What do you guys think of Nick Bawden, dude? What's going to happen with? We didn't see anything. We didn't hear a peep about Nick Bawden the entire offseason. Training camp, preseason. Did they even use him? I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. Let's see. Ashton Davis is terrible and Jetsfan and Bryce Hall is good. Dude, comparing the two is real. This is where you lose me, buddy. This is where you lose me. The idea that Bryce Hall is not a good cornerback, I think you're drunk. Now, is he Revis? No. He's a quality cornerback. The thing is with our players, right, is you can't look at the defense and clearly see that players are being forced to give 10-yard cushions and then get pissed off when they give up receptions. I mean, you can't have both. The system can't suck, and then the receiver, then the cornerback, you got to, in my opinion, in those instances, you got to look at where the fault really is. Usually it's one or the other. Now, it can be that both suck. Bryce Hall played 17 games. He had like 19 passes defense last year. So come on. Now, you might not think he's great. That's fine. But the fact putting him in the same category as Ashton Davis, I think is hard to do. I'm impressed, actually. Let's see. I know who is the fastest wide receiver on the Jets. I don't know. Let's see. Let me catch up a little bit. I know. Yeah. I think you are drunk. That's what I said. You heard me. I think you drink. I think you're drinking too early on a Monday, Jets Forever. You need to slow it down. Take it easy. Take it easy. Again, like if you look at what Ashton Davis has done and what Bryce Hall has done, they're on different planes. The only thing you can even say about Ashton Davis is he figured out how to get 2 picks. That's it. Ball gets thrown right to him, So, no, you're being a grump. You're being a grump. That's what I'm saying. Clemens is our most productive D-line. Well, JD, let me say this. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that he's going to be among the best. I'm really looking for a Quinnen Williams domination year. That's what I think. Now, I think that the guys like Clemens, like Carl Lawson, like Jermaine Johnson, JFM moving inside, which is where he's supposed to be. I think that that's all going to aid what we see from Quinnen Williams. I think this is a Quinnen Williams year. That's what I think. And again, because you see, this is the stuff. I'm just going to ban you. Goodbye, Yo Holmes. That's the stuff. Goodbye. Goodbye, Yo Holmes. See ya. But this is the stuff, like when Quinnen was drafted, how many of us really wanted Quinnen Williams? And I was, I remember I was on Jetnation that whole draft, right? There were people that wanted him, that Quinnen Williams is the best player in the draft and all that jazz. But I didn't want Quinnen Williams. Why? Not because I didn't like the player, because we didn't need him. I like to see, especially top 5, top 10 picks, I like to see you come out of there filling a hole. That's just my opinion. Like, you heard me say it all the time. You come out of the top 5 with a top 5 player, all right? That's number one. But you come out of the top 5 with a player that actually fills a hole on your team. It's important. And if you're not going to do that, if you don't see that, then you trade back. And the problem with Maccagnan that year is that he had trade offers on the table. That's what we learned later. That's why Gase stormed out of the room like a crybaby. Why would I ban Jets forever? Why? Why would I ban Jets forever? He never makes it personal. I mean, he does. Whenever he does, I just yell at him and he stops, but he doesn't go. It's like when you go personal at people, that's what I don't like. Now, I don't always see it. There's thousands of comments in there. Thousands. Well, Tammy, the thing with Mims is that if you only get to see him in certain scenarios, then what else do you have? Like I pointed out numerous times, we saw Mims against starting we saw him against starting defenses. He did fine. He was very effective. When thrown the ball, he'd catch it and make yards after the catch. When he has to block on a running play, he blocks fantastically. Puts his body out there. He's very effective. So if this staff only throws him out there at the end of the third preseason game, that's what you have to look at. Again, like this is the thing, Tammy, is that the Mims people like myself are pointing to the rookie season when he was out there with starters and did very well. When thrown the ball, he did everything he had to do and then some. So my problem is I don't understand what the problem is. That's my whole problem. He should be ahead of guys like Jeff Smith, Tariq Black, Calvin Jackson. Who else was? DJ Montgomery last year. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting, Tammy. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen. I think that if Joe Douglas can get some real value for him, he'll do it because he knows this staff isn't going to use him. But I would rather see him sit right where he is. Again, just because an agent asked for a trade doesn't mean you got to trade him. It doesn't mean. It doesn't mean it. You wanted, that was a different draft, Alpha, but oh no, it wasn't. That was the same damn draft. What am I talking about? You're right. I wanted Nick Bosa, but you know what? I actually didn't want Nick Bosa. I loved Nick Bosa, but he's the kind of player, missing 2 seasons with knee injuries, comes to the Jets. It's just, I know our luck, man. If we get that, that player, then it's, I don't know. I just don't see us turning it around. And you saw imagine if we had Nick Bosa, Alpha, and his second year, like we took the risk on Nick Bosa. He has a good rookie year. Second year, the same thing happens that happened to him in college, and you lost him for the whole season. I think it was game 2. How do you think Jets fans would have handled that? How do you think we would have done it? You think we would have lost our marbles and called him a bust and we never should have taken him? So Streveler, George, I got to say, I hope that Streveler did enough to make the team, to be 3. But I really don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. I think they gave Mike White $2.5 million in the offseason. Now, even though that's not guaranteed, they believe in him. They love him. The team loves him. Now, it looks like the team is really taking to Streveler as well. But it's just, I don't know. It's hard to see, George. It really is. I think that they'll try to stash him on the practice squad. I think you could stash Mike White. I think Mike White's preseason was such that you could stash him on the practice squad and nobody will touch him. That's my thoughts. But do you stick a guy with the $2.5 million? I mean, if you cut him, does the contract end? I don't know. It's a lot of thinking to do. But if you just looked at it with who adds more to the team, I think Streveler does. I think he's a better quarterback, probably. I mean, we saw it in game 2 when Mike White was out there. He was there for the first 3 quarters, half of the third quarter, like the first 2 quarters and half of the third. He did nothing. It looked like we were tired and dead. It looked like last season, just like when there's nothing there. Those games where there's just nothing for it. It was just boring football. That's what it was. Streveler came in and on his first drive with the same people, scored a touchdown, drove us down and scored. So it's crazy. I don't know. It's going to be, I know that's the thing, Ed. That's what I'm talking about. I freak out. It's like with taking Stingley. Like there was a lot of fans saying, Derek Stingley is really cornerback 1. That may be the case. I wouldn't touch him for the Jets. Our luck is not good with that stuff. We've done it, man. We've taken first round cornerbacks that were injured. D. Milliner. What did we see? We saw a guy who was always injured and out of the league in 4 years, maybe even 3. So I don't know. Did my coaches? No, they didn't think that. Mr. Forte, it's a funny thing because in my town, I was actually considered somebody that everybody was waiting to die, to find out that I, died in a gutter somewhere. That's what I was looked at as. So nope. But who knew? I didn't know. I don't even know what I'm doing here, Mr. Forte. I don't even know what the hell's going on. But yeah, I got to go. My daughter, I got to go do homeschool now. She's done doing her morning stuff, breakfasts, hair, face, teeth, bed, all the stuff. So I'm going to have to go in a minute. But Bang Mateo checking back in. It's good to hear from you so much, Bang. He says, I wish Saleh was more hands-on head coach. He doesn't carry a play sheet, for God's sake. Says, if Saleh and Ulbrich aren't X and O's guys, who the hell is? It's such an interesting point because I'm somewhere in the middle. It's like I really do like and prefer head coaches who are head coaches. I don't like guys that are running a side of the ball. I don't prefer that. Now, as much fun as Rex was for those first 2 years, I mean, 2 of my favorite years as a Jet fan, period. But he was kind of only with the defense, you know what I mean? And then, whatever. And you look at Adam Gase, literally we had 2 head coaches. Remember that comment? Oh, we have a defensive head coach. We have a head coach for the defense. Like, oh my God. So I don't want that, but I do want the guy who's in that head coach position to be able to actually understand what's going on and the X's and O's of it all. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like the NFL is moving away from the cavemen, like me. Like I come from the caveman era. It's like their analytics weren't even out. They didn't even exist yet. It was like, it was animals. You know what I mean? Like you went out there and you battered the other team to submission in many ways, in many respects. It's not that way anymore. Like you see, even like, when we used to see pro-ready offenses, right, in college, it comes from pro-ready offense. That's not even the case anymore. Like now the NFL is adopting all the spread type of formats from the college realm. Like it's a totally different game. So I think while years ago, I liked, like a Buddy Ryan, just kind of go out there and, even Greg Williams, I liked it. I liked those guys. But it's to the point now where X's and O's, and not that they weren't always important. Please don't misunderstand me. But the X's and O's, the analytics of it are increasingly important. And when you have a guy who's a head coach, he has to understand those scenarios inside and out. So when he's observing, maybe he's not walking around with a play sheet, maybe he's not calling the plays, but he knows damn well what should be happening. Like he's watching his offensive coordinator, he's watching the drive, he sees the scenario, he knows what should happen. And when his offensive coordinator chooses otherwise and it fails, he knows to tell him, hey, what the hell was that? You know what you should have been doing? This. Yes, right. And now if our offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator don't have that above them and they just do what they do, that could lead to problems. It could. Now, Ulbricht is interesting, man, because we don't know what he is. Last year, you got to give it to him. You do. Every single defensive free agent that we brought in was hurt before the season started. Only LaMarcus Joyner made it into a couple of games. Then later, he lost even more guys. So he started more rookies than either. He was the most rookies on either side of the ball, most injuries. That said, he was still concerning. And this year, we don't know what he is. And we don't know what if this preseason defense, like the defense looked a little bit more competent yesterday. Maybe that's an indicator of things to come. But I don't know. So maybe they are great, Bang Mateo. So I'm kind of there with you. I do love you know what I like when my head coach actually seems engaged. That's what I like. I don't like Todd Bowles standing there silent throughout the game. Saleh does a lot of that. I don't like it. I want my head coach involved, like into it, knowing what's up, you know? So we'll see. We'll see how it works. This is it's going to be a very telling year. A very telling year. Don't forget to hit that like button. We're going to end this in just a minute here after Alexander's comment. We should have taken the Greek Freak. Yeah, no crap. That's what I was saying. I think, look, I'm happy with Jermaine Johnson now. Come on. I'm happy with him. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. But I told you guys, that's what me and Jets forever. Getting our heads chopped off. O'Leary too. We were all the Greek Freak fans. So this guy's going to be great. Jets fans, there was one Jets fan who said he would chop his hands off or something like that, or gouge his eyes out if the Jets drafted Karlaftis. I was like, what? I don't know. But let's not go, that fast. We don't know what Karlaftis is. Don't forget, we had a player. His name was Dorian Boose. He had 5 sacks in the preseason, his rookie year. They were saying that he was better than the first-round edge rusher, Julius Peppers. Julius, right? Julius Peppers, I think it was. They were like, the Jets got to steal. He's actually better than Peppers, and he got him in this 3rd round, whatever. Dude, Dorian Boose never did anything. He never did anything, man. And I mean that. Like, he didn't do shit for us. Even though a lot of Jets fans called him Booze, it didn't matter. We could call him whatever we want. So he had that great preseason and did nothing in the NFL. So who knows, right? Karlaftis might amount to nothing. But what you like is his motor. That's the thing that everybody liked about him in college, that he doesn't stop. And that's Michael Clemens is the same way. You can see it. You can see, like when defensive linemen, like they rush and they looks like the guy's away and they slow down. They go, he's gone. And then the guy has to stop and cut back. And they start running again. I hate those guys. That's why when you watch Michael Clemens, he's digging the whole time. The play is happening. I'm going 100%. Because you never know what's going to happen to the play. And that's why you like those guys. And that's one of the positives with Karlaftis. Chris Mazer. Thank you, Chris. He says, hot take. I think the Jets will keep 4 quarterbacks, thinking ahead for next year. 4. Well, I think they're going to keep them all if they can. I think if they clear waivers, but they're definitely not going to keep 4 on the 53. There's no way, Chris. None. But I do agree with you that they'll keep them. I think they're going to keep 2 on the roster. They're going to try to slip 2 on the practice squad. That's what I think. I think the roster spots are too valuable. When Zach Wilson comes back, it'll be Flacco backing him up. When Flacco's in there, it's going to be Mike White, in my opinion. That's just what I think. 4 quarterbacks on the active roster, or not even active, but just on the 53 that'd be something. That would be something. The Jets have done that, though. in the past. Remember that? We did who was that? That was Danny Ainge when we had 4 quarterbacks. Oh my God, that was crazy. Who the hell was that? I can't remember. Danny Ainge was one of them, though, from Tennessee. Remember Danny Ainge? All right, Danny Ainge. I think his name was Danny. You like Arthur Smith? I'll tell you what, though, if being completely honest, I didn't want Arthur Smith as a head coach. I didn't want him. I didn't want necessarily Robert Saleh either. Like once we had our group of guys that we interviewed, that I said, okay, well, Saleh's up on the top. I kind of would have preferred Dable, but I wanted a completely different group of candidates. It is what it is. Yeah. I think LaFleur is giving me a lot of reason to be confident in the offense. And here's the thing. We have talent on the offense. If the damn line can block, we have ourselves an offense. And then obviously Zach Wilson, if Zach Wilson can actually just be an average or slightly above average quarterback, we have an offense. It's that simple. Like we just have to stop being the worst damn quarterback in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, can we please stop with being the worst? Please. That's what I don't want anymore. I'm so done with it. Mr. Forte, what's up? He says, you're doing a great job. That's what you're doing. Oh, thank you, man. Well, I appreciate that. And I'll remind you guys, this was just a fill-in because it's the first week that we're moving the Green Beans Jets pod to Wednesdays. So I just felt empty inside. You know, like usually for years now, I've released something on Mondays. So I was like, I couldn't do it. I was going to make a little shorter video and I was like, I can't. I want to go do it this way. I'm going to release this on audio as well. Just for the audio guys for this week. I will not be doing that next week. So Green Beans Jets pod will be Wednesday. It'll happen this Wednesday too. So it'll be a Wednesday thing. My Patreon will get it on Tuesdays. Tiers 2 and 3 will get it on Tuesdays. And I will have it out to you guys on Wednesdays. And we'll fill it with all kinds of other fun stuff. But yeah, man. Hey, listen, guys, I want to tell you, we're really close to getting yet another Jets fan to their first ever home game. I just want to let you guys know how close we really are. Like this would now be 4 Jets fans that have never been to a Jets home game. Our fund has been able to make that happen. We're paying for travel and we're paying for the ticket. And in some cases, we've had tickets donated, to be fair. But it doesn't matter how it comes. Like that's what we're doing. We're taking care of the travel and we're taking care of the ticket. Flights. We're not paying for a hotel or anything now. Or, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches. We're not doing that. But so we're really close. If you guys want to help with that as we go into opening day, it's crunch time. If you guys want to help with that, you can. The link is in the description, and we would greatly appreciate any additional funds. We also have tickets for game 2 as well. So we're trying to extend it. It's not just for opening day. We're going to try to get some people to the game, against, I think it's the Bengals. Second home game, that is. Not week 2, second home game. So it's going to be awesome, man. And I thank all you guys who already did it. I mean, what an incredible thing we're doing. Really. People that live way out in East Jabib, they just, it's hard. It's hard to get here. It's hard to get there. I'm in friggin' Virginia. It's hard for me. I'm 6 hours away driving, so it's not easy. You can't just skip up there. Chris Mazer checking back in. Thank you, Chris. Another hot take. Zach Wilson spending time in the booth is going to make him shine when he comes back. Sitting helped Zach last year. Who says it won't happen again this year? I agree. Nobody can deny that little period of time that Zach Wilson sat and watched Mike White and even Josh Johnson come in there and play. Nobody can deny that when he came back, he was a different player. Completely different. Settled, calmer, took what the defense gave, completely eliminated the turnovers, completely gone. The last 5 weeks of the season, we saw none. So leading into this year, we saw him in first drive. He throws a pick. So maybe but we gotta just hope that whatever nerves that Zach Wilson has going into the season, whatever, amped up kind of adrenaline, that he's able to calm that down. And I think you might be onto something, Chris. If Joe Flacco can go out there week 1 and just utilize the weapons that we have available, I think we got ourselves a game. And Zach Wilson should just pay close attention. And if he's in the booth with LaFleur, seeing how the game plan develops and all that, kind of maybe even sharing ideas and all that, I think it could be great. Imagine Zach Wilson just said, I don't want to play quarterback. I want to be his assistant. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be fun? I do, Jason. As a matter of fact, I gave up on it. Email me, man. bean@greenbeanjetsfan.com. I had a couple people reply, but nobody, I reached out and nobody got back. So yeah, what I'm hoping to do is I'm just hoping to have somebody follow us for 2 days. That's it. Just follow us for 2 days. We're going to interview a few people and we're going to capture the Coney Island thing. So if you're interested, Jason, reach out to me. Absolutely. Where's Tin Star? He's here. I didn't see him. Let me see. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. I want to thank you all for being here. Much more than I thought was going to happen today. It was almost 300 of you in here a little while ago. So again, we are going to release episode 82. Can you figure out who the player profile is going to be this week? I will not tell you here. So it'll be number 82 episode of Green Beans Jets Pod. That will be released on Wednesday morning. And moving through the season, that's what it'll be. It'll be a Wednesday release. I'll still put out a Monday morning video. I'll still put out a Monday morning video, but it'll be a little shorter, 30 minutes instead of an hour. All right, we'll do something like that. But I want to thank you guys all for being here. If you'd like to get even deeper and closer into the group, which is still growing, you can join the Beanbaggers and get exciting just access and hangouts and the private streams and all sorts of great stuff. You can totally do that by clicking the link in the description that says Beanbaggers. We welcome all of you. And it's such a good time. I love those guys. We talk every day. So you can do that. And don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Please do. Why not? Right? Hit that subscribe button. It's still pretty good. So now you guys get to go watch Jake Assman, one of our buddies, one of our favorites. Go have a good rest of your day. We will see you next time. And don't forget, Wednesday, Green Beans Jets Pod, number 82. Let me find my outro here. I'll use this one. Where is it? There we go. Guys, have a great day.
As a Hall of Fame voting group, we need to re-examine some careers. And I think we need to re-examine the career of Joe Klecko.
Dang, I want to see how I do against this guy. Because he was the best.
Left guard can't handle Klecko. Just knock the crap out of the guy across from you.
Intensity, bottom line. Never take a play off.
He was incredibly strong.
His just pure raw strength.
He was the same every play. Ball zone.
It was an incredible accomplishment to be dominant at one position in the NFL in your career, but to be dominant at three positions